Hey everyone, hope you are well and safe. We are taking a closer look at the Angel Wisdom Tarot by Radley Valentine. Came out last year, roughly October, I believe. Hay House Publishing. Now I'm very late with this deck because I wasn't really sure about it. There was mixed reviews, and plus I was worried it would end up something similar to the Angel's Tarot cards, which I honestly didn't like. After a few people encouraging me to take a look, I did, and I absolutely love this deck. Overall, this is what the box would look like, and it's a real chunky box but very secure and protective for your cards. The overall theme of this deck is to call or draw in the wisdom and power of the archangels in this kind of relatively positive deck with majority of the traditional symbolism still in place, which I'm glad to see, where it was somewhat absent in the Angel's Tarot. When you open the box, you're presented by a guidebook plus I like the little message inside the front of the box. Thank you, angels, for guiding my path every day. It's a nice little touch. The guidebook is pretty chunky, packed with information. You can see just how much space it takes of the box and why it's such a large box overall. Also, what the box will look like with the cards and everything else out. So you can see there's plenty of space, very secure large box with your cards, your guidebook as kind of like the full package. So overall, it's very nice. Now the cards originally out of the box does come plain edged, but as usual, what I've decided to do with my one is I've done it in multiple colors to match each of the theme cards, and it looks very nice, and you know, it fits the color coded sections of the deck, and for me personally it heightens the energy of the cards, which is why I normally tend to edge it, you know, just kind of like give it that extra feeling towards it. The cards are your standard oracle card size, comfortable in the hands. I have medium sized hands, and it's nice to hold and move one-handed, very easy. It's pretty much the same size card deck as the Angel Toro here. It's only different stock quality. One is laminated, and this one is currently a matte finish, so pretty much the same size, just to give you an idea. The back of the cards are amazing to me personally because it has what looks like a wheel or the world surrounded by all the major arcana cards, illustrated exactly like the cards themselves, which is absolutely brilliant to me. And you also have the kind of like the different sort of sides of the moon phase, so the cards are reversible. The deck overall is a matte finish. I wouldn't say it's buttery kind of a feel matte finish. It's more feeling of, you know, it's good enough, but I've felt better out there. There are medium, the cards are medium thickness, and the overall stock quality I think is pretty good. It's okay. So this was one of my worries, depending, you know, where do you get the card stock. My paper cut quality is strong enough, as you could see. I've got my deck copy from Holistic Shop, online retail here in the UK. I'm confident in obtaining good quality of cards opposed to Amazon, where at times the quality control is not as great. So I'm kind of grateful and thankful that I've got, you know, a good, great quality overall of the cards. Now each cards are color coded according to their suits. We have red, orange for the ones, symbolism of fire on the right, and then you'll have the number to the left. You'll get a full image in the center of that, and just below you get a brief summary meaning of the card with its angel corresponding to the left, and then you've got the numeral numbers to the right. It's the same here. You've got the water suits, you've got the symbolism of that, you've got the number on one end, full image in the middle. Same here for the earth. The coins, you've got the numeral numbers and the angel corresponding. You've got a leaf on the right, and then you've got the numbers there. And for the air, again, it's exactly the same. You could see they've kind of like got different variations of the colors, where it's one color but it tends to blend into another one. So you've got shades of green, and then it will kind of like get a lighter green. And here for the air, you've got kind of like sky blue, but then it tints itself a little bit. You have the major arcana with main wording on top, full image in the center, brief meaning below, angel corresponding to the left, and the numeral to your right. The things you may not like as an example and need to be aware of. The cards are not as scary, strong, or harsh in its illustrations from the traditional imagery. This is a very positive deck. I have here some cards as an example. Here, for example, we have the Three of Swords. Now, traditionally, you could see here swords are normally being embedded within the heart, you know, indication of the pain and the loss. Well, in this deck, it's completely different, where you kind of like have an angel. I kind of understand, I get it. It's a different form of healing. It's giving you the positive aspect. Here we've got the Tower. Tower's not really falling apart. It looks as though it's been built up, and where in the traditional aspect of the Tower, it's there's some form of disaster, collapse, or breaking apart. It seems as though that has happened, and yet in this deck it's been built up. And this one, I really don't like this one. I don't get it. It's the Ten of Swords, and I don't know. I guess the sword has been packed away, it's leaving. I guess you're getting through the whole Ten of Swords happening, the pain of it, the embeddedness compared to the traditional. So I guess you go through that phase, and in this deck, it's kind of like, okay, pull the swords out, I've packed them away, and now I'm moving on. Again, it's looking at the positive. And here the Nine of Wands. And here the Nine of Wands, she doesn't look worn out. It's, I guess, I don't know, it's just a shield blocking, you know, the wands being thrown at her. But traditionally, you could see in the illustration how worn out the person would be, how you can tell they've gone through a massive battle and they're just hanging on for their life. They're just, you know, hanging on to get through there. But in this one, it's different. And then here we've got the Five of Pentacles. Again, an old lady, and you've got the angels kind of fielding her out, left alone. In the traditional aspect, you've got various different forms of loss, of struggling, of needing help. So I guess in this one, again, it's a more positive. This one, we've got the Release, which is the Death card. Again, I think it's you've transitioned through the death, you know, where you needed to have that change. Things needed to, you know, you need to take a new approach towards things. The old way, let it go. And when this one, it seems as though it's moved on from that. At the same time, there are cards that are much better with a lot more meanings. Here, for example, the Two of Coins, weighing the options and the pressure. You can see that with the clock ticking, movement of the sea, rough seas at the background, the ropes holding your balance. It's a better illustration of challenges before you. I think it's awesome. The Five of Wands here, you're not fighting against anyone else here, but yourself in the mirror, your own ego. You are the one to decide whether it's worth all the drama or not. You're your worst enemy. Absolutely amazing. And then you've got the Wheel. I love the Wheel, my favorite card. All of the life-changing state of your journey. Illustration of all the major cards. Your life on display here on the Wheel. Beautiful. And then the Nine of Swords, where it's a very modern version of today's society, of our mental stress causing sleepless nights. So you can see there are also positives of this card, which I love. Let's take a look at our major arcana cards. Good design overall, and the color code is a variation of brown colors. Does it mean anything of significance? I'm not entirely sure. Yes, for the suits, but I'm not sure here. So we have the Fool card, named as the Dreamer, coming through a portal door into a new discovery, a new world, with the hourglass there commencing and the angel guide watching from a distance there in the background. Already there's a lot of deeper meaning here, which what I love about this deck overall. We've got the Magician. Again, so many things going on here. If you look at his finger underneath the pillar, pointing, so that is an indication of manifestation is pretty much the same as above taking place there. We've got the High Priestess, again, deeper meanings of various symbolism all over the cards here. The little details everywhere. The bottom part of the dress flowing down with water, showing the fluidity of the emotions. Very, very nice touch. Our next cards we have are the Empress, Emperor, and the Wise Counselor. The Empress, time to take action, give birth to your dreams. Creative projects will be very successful. Abundance and prosperity. Associated angel is G for Gabriel, who will help motivate you. The Emperor, logic and organization will increase your success. Take charge of the situation, accept a leadership role. Associated angel is Michael, MI. His sword ready to lend a hand to clear out anything in your way of success if needed. Wise counsel is our Hierophant, unity with a spiritual minded community. Ask the divine for help and trust the answers will come. Associated angel S for Sandalphon, your liaison to the source. We have the Lovers, Chariot, and Justice. Interesting lovers cards. Looks like the choices has been made and is being blessed by the angel Raphael, which is associated with this card. The embrace of hands keeps it open in terms of gender also, so it's pretty interesting there. We have the Chariot, pretty standard with movement. Associated angel is Me, Metatron, and he's the angel to help you bring your dreams into reality. Now, this is very different, where it's normally the strength card, but we have justice, which the author makes it clear he wanted to go back to the historical placement of the cards of justice and strength. So just to bear that in mind. Next, we have the Hermit, the Wheel, and Strength. Time spent in peaceful meditation and meaningful solitude. Associated angel is Razel, who we see here in the card actually holding the Latin for us. He's been waiting your arrival on top of the hill, so that's very interesting there. The Wheel, my favorite card in this deck, highlighting our various states of the journey. Each major Arcana card's illustration is exactly the same as the actual cards here that I'm showing. Great attention to details and well thought through as well. Really well done. And you could see here, I'm zooming in. You'll probably see the Wheel card as well, so most of it is blocked out, but brilliant, brilliant, brilliant design. We have the Strength, and again, another awesome card. I love how massive the lion is in this image, showing how powerful of a presence it has, but yet it's been tamed, which looks absolutely amazing there in the Strength card. We've got the Hangman, release and balance. Hangman is named as the awakening, which makes sense, especially after one would have discovered insight from a different perspective. Now, if you remember, this is the same person from the Dreamer card, with the angel guide still by his side, just there behind the tree. We have the Death card, named as release. Endings that lead to new beginnings. It's pretty much showing the acceptance of change that has taken place after death. So it's a positive kind of death card. Again, this is a very positive deck. Balance, our Temperance card. Again, seems like balance has been achieved here, opposed to trying to harmonize the oppositional forces. His feet in the lake is interesting. Could be the indication of mastery. Again, deeper meanings here. We have Ego, Transformation, and the Star card. Ego is our Devil card. Looks like Angel Michael has come to our rescue to free us from our chains. Looks like she was indulging herself, blinded to see the reality of the situation. From what I'm gathering, again, deeper meanings in there. Transformation is our Tower. Again, highlighting the positive, it looks like the tower is being fixed after the realization of what was old is no longer valid, had to go be replaced or upgraded. The Star card, again, different. It seems complete. No nudity here, so there's no vulnerability. The two urns with water flowing instead of one, showing no worry of fear of the water wasting or running out. Now, I want you to quickly refer back to the dreamer in the beginning of the card. If you look at him, you've got the angel there. He's sacking everything, the same clothing, and how it's the same person here on a different phase of the journey, which is very nice. It's opposed to random sort of characters all over the place with different cards. So it keeps everything intact, which I really love. We have the Moon card. Again, it seems like things are clearer, easier to see in the day opposed to the night of the moon. Now, personally, I don't like it, and this would be my own personal negative of this deck. Yes, it has many great cards with deeper meanings, but I feel in some areas it goes a bit too far in its positive message. Learning is how we evolve as human beings, and the experiences and so on that makes us all the better wiser. Now, sometimes I believe when you change something or belittle the negative of what we don't like in the cards, it takes a shortcut to me. You're not fully learning the fundamentals, but instead choosing to see one aspects. Now, a lot of the cards in here, well, some of the cards in here does that, I feel. The imagery is so positive, but yet if you read the book, the meanings kind of states other things that are significant and truly kind of clarify things about that card, but yet it's not properly illustrated that way. Like the moon card, nothing illustration, there was nothing in that illustration about the hidden mysteries that you don't have full awareness of, behind the scenes. No, nothing truly vivid or powerful to get me to pay attention. It feels like a lot of these cards feels like an edited movie cut version versus the full extended uncut version of the original. Not all of it, but there are some. Would I recommend this deck to a beginner user? I honestly don't know. I don't think I would if that is their first deck. If they are already accustomed to the traditional, yeah, sure. You've got the full picture, the background, you know the story, no problem at looking at the other side. Yes, then I would recommend this deck. But I feel like here again, we've got the Three of Swords here. It's like after the event. I understand the positive. I understand it because I'm accustomed. I know what, I know the full picture, the full story here where here it's showing me, yes, I've had the heart broken, I'm healing, I'm going through the healing process, the angel is helping me to get through this process. I'm healing, but I feel sometimes when you kind of skip or kind of go straight to the positive side of things, you haven't really taken the proper process of healing. You haven't gone through the proper phase of actually going through it, feeling it, recognizing it, letting it go, understanding it. I feel that's important, and I kind of feel it a lot of these cards in this deck kind of skips a lot of that, and it's I know what it's trying to do, but in its positive messages, I feel it jumps jumps that a bit. It's just me ranting. It's just, I guess that's what I really don't like about certain key cards within this deck, for me personally. So yeah, we're looking at the swords here. I'm randomly on. Again, like I said, some of it is absolutely beautiful. With the swords, you've got sort of like blue border, mixture of blue, sort of like variation of it getting lighter. The imagery here of the Eight of Swords. So again, with the gate, very different. It's a lot more deeper meaning. Here's one where I love. It's a more modernized version of the Nine of Swords. Again, everything deeper meaning. It's being kept up late, the nightmares, restless sleep. That's very nice. Here's one of those cards, the Ten of Swords. I understand it. It's over. The swords been plucked out. They've been packed up, and the person is now going to start a new journey they've just gone through. So things like that I kind of like understand, but still I feel it doesn't give you the full picture and story. Again, I'm accustomed, I know the full story, and it's just like half of the story. You've just jumped it. But yeah, anyway, so we've got here, what have we got? We've got the Knight of Swords. I love it. Fast movement indication, cutting through, get out of the way, typical Knight of Sword for you. He needs to probably calm down. Now, the court cards doesn't have any archangel association, but rather it looks at you or the situation directly and provides guidance of wisdom to consider for yourself or the situation on the approach in the most appropriate manner. The Queen of Air, for example, is advised against any favorism, and the King of Air to show some emotions, which is what the general advice is of the deck. We have our wands, again, color coded in red slash orange, variation of different colors. Now, the suits will have angel association. Here we can see for the ace, we have the ME, which is Michael. And you got the number, and then you got the symbolism of the fire there to indicate to you it's fire, it's a 1. And like I said in previously, you see the image there of the little kid. He's going to go through that journey, which is absolutely awesome. We've got our 2 of Wands here, 2 people together looking at this at the same direction. Actual duality on display. I like it, but also how it's shared by someone else. I love the part of that deck. The deeper meanings is its strength without a doubt in some cards. The 3 of Wands, ship sailed out or flied out. All plans have now moved into action. A very good indication. The 4 of Wands, standard with celebration taking place. I love the wands planted around her when she's dancing. It's an indication of the solid foundation, stability, which is perfect. With also the home in the background, brilliant. I love the way they've done that. The 5 of Wands, I like this one as well. Brilliant, different perspective. Instead of battling with others, it's you that you truly need to face and battle with. Your ego that gives purpose to drama or not. 6 of Wands, again, another nice one. A victory lap for sure in her gym wear, on display, as well as an inspiration for others to see. But also, it doesn't feel as though she is fully rejoicing by her face impression. And you can see why when we move to the 7 of Wands. So from here, you could see her. She's not really like happy, but you can see exactly as to why. I think even the trainers as well looks different, and how she's defending herself or standing her ground. Very interesting. We move on to the 8 of Wands, bursting up into the sky instead of coming down fast, with a lot going on in the background. The intentions has been set and taken off. You now have to watch it on display with all the fireworks there. I really like it when this deck has a deeper intuitive meaning, and it's nicely or perfectly illustrated like it was done here. The 9 of Wands, image of the same woman in the 3 of Wands, where plan had been set out. Seems like she is pushing forward rather than fending. The shield in place is there for that, but the ones are pushing forward. So I guess she's truly breaking the barrier of the 9 of Wands. I don't like it, but appreciate what it's showing, and I understand it. 10 of Wands makes sense and has a deeper meaning, I feel, and story. It looks as though it's taking its toll on her coming up the road, but I believe things is getting better, because then the road is kind of like going downhill, as you could see there. So again, deeper meaning. We have our Page of Wands, now all grown up young men. Let's have a look. Even his dragon by his side has evolved, and I like that about this in this deck, where all aces will kind of be young, and then they evolve later on into the suits, which is actually a great touch. We have the Knight of Wands, explosive movement. You could see there with the sand, and very daring as well, based on the place that she seems to be, somewhere in the middle of nowhere, in the desert possibly. So very sort of like a standard, very, very nice. We have our queen and a king. Love how they look like they are sitting just side to side, and you have the little details of opposites and colors of each sides. The advice for the queen is to not dismiss others' ideas, but also balance work and home, which is standard. And for the king, it's learn to share the spotlight with others sometimes. Not everything is about you. Regardless of the little bits of negatives in some cards, there is a lot more positive in this deck, and which is why overall I really like it. Really, really like it. We move on to our cups. Again, here you see the young page there, young mermaid dolphin page. Very beautiful. I like the colors. You got the darker shade of blue of the sea. Sometimes you got, depending on the weather, it's blue and then it turns into the green there. You've got a young little dolphin. Again, we're going to reach that part of the suits where that she will all be grown up, which is absolutely perfect. We've got our Two of Cups, again, very standard, very beautiful, the sharing of cups. I love how you've got the Cupid there on standby, ready with his bow. Absolutely amazing. Really, really nicely done with the home as well, right there in the background. Very nice. Celebration in the Three of Cups, but instead of three females, we have two females with a male. So that's very different and very nice to see as well. Celebration taking place with everybody involved, different dress and everything. The Four of Cups is standard also, but what I like here is how the opportunity presenting itself is so close to him, and all that is needed is for him to look to his shoulder. It's nicely done. You could see here, just look how very close his angel is, kind of like giving him an opportunity there and he can't see it. Um, the Five of Cups also is done nicely. You have courage is really needed here, and that's demonstrated nicely with the river. You could see the strong current in his way. Do you bravely push ahead or turn back and take the Two of Cups? It's very nicely done. We have our Six of Cups, gorgeous way of showing the Six of Cups, the sharing of gift from the heart, and how it's different gifts rather than having both the same cup. You have one is given the cup and the other is given a flower. Our Temperance in the background, indicating how balance is in place and the old has been cleared away. We've got the Seven of Cups, pretty standard, but I don't like it. Different colors of choices, yes, makes it difficult to pick. I think this card is kind of a boring illustration, to be honest. I don't feel it. I don't like it. The Eight of Cups, nicely illustrated, showing what he had gained and reaching a point of leaving it behind, with the dog all grown up from the dreamer. It's the same dog, by the way, looking back at the comforts. I like that one, and having to kind of leave that behind. I love the Nine of Cups with the genie out of his lamp, highlighting the various wishes that's been granted, with further indications that is possible, you know. So it's very nicely drawn and put together. The Ten of Cups also, family walking ahead with the rainbow, all indication of a happily ever after, and the movie's kind of like closing off now. It's very nicely done and on display. Nicely done. We go on to our young ace. Our young ace is now a grown-up page with her dolphin friend as well by her side. From the depths of the sea to now up to surface on the sea coast. And let's have a quick look here. There she was, our young little ace, with the young little dolphin as well, deep down in the sea, and now all grown up. Nice. I really love the representation. We've got, again, standard here, we've got our romantic knight rushing in. The advice is that there is more to life than romance, so the knight needs to be aware of that. We've got our queen and king. I love it side to side the way it is. The advice for the queen is to recognize that the entire world is not your responsibility. To please take care of yourself as the queen. So the queen needs to kind of focus, turn her focus into her. The advice for the king, it's asking the king to consider saying the word no. So for the king to consider the word no. Again, there is additional meanings more than what I'm saying a taste of, but I think overall the court cards are brilliantly done. I feel great job. Again, the deeper meanings I believe um, is is the strength of this deck. We've got the young page here. We're looking at our pentacles, our earth, illustrate, color coded in green, and that looks absolutely gorgeous. The whole garden floor and everything. It's a great illustration of birthright money or inheritance. I love the Two of Pentacles, one of my favorite cards in the deck. The pressure of it all, weighing the options with the sea in the background, the ticking clocks, the rope, all involved instead of just the two coins being juggled, which is why I really love it. I also like the free dedication in one's art, one's craft. Looks very modern as well. And it's something I've noticed as well in this deck. It seems like it's different timelines based on how the place is, the different clothing. And you could see it here with the three cards side to side. It all feels random. But then again, it could also be an indication of the archangels are everywhere, different timelines, different places. So maybe that's what it is. We have the Four of Coins is very different again. She is giving away money instead of holding on to money. I guess they have learned to let go. It's another card that I don't really like. I don't know. It's different, which is a good thing, but I'm just not feeling it. We've got the Five, another different one. Hard to tell if she is homeless, left out alone. You have the angel touching her head, so healing is taking place of the thoughts of the mind. The card speaks of negative thoughts behind the challenges. I don't know how I feel about this one as well. Interesting Six of Coins. Again, not sure how I feel about it. She is giving, but yet no balance coming back. So for all you know, they can be taken advantage of her. It's difficult to tell if this is an act of charity or for display. Again, there's a lot of things to kind of derive from, discover meaning. Well, I should be mentioning what is supposed to kind of make these cards different and kind of extra special. That is the angel association of each cards, for the exception of the court cards. It's there to help you through the challenges of that particular card. Here, for example, G, which will be Gabriel. It's the card of study, further expanding in your craftsmanship to get to where you need to get to. And Gabriel can provide the assistance and help you to get through that kind of barrier. So the angel association pretty much is there to help you in that term. So it helps you to learn about them and discover the archangel's specialities. There is a total of 15 known archangel in this deck, each with their own unique abilities to assist you get through the stages or the challenges of each cards. Another great thing is the fact the deck has quotes directly from the cards' meanings, so you get to gain some understanding of the meaning without having to refer back to the book. It's a positive deck overall that tries to incorporate something different that I personally think works. I feel it works 90% of the time with deeper meanings. And it's great for intuitive readers to really get into, like myself. I tend to really look at the image and see what I could pull out of it. I think that's the important thing with card readings or cards in general, tarot, oracle, be it that it's really paying attention to those images, not just kind of going to the book and just reading the meanings of it. There's a lot more to that. And I think this deck, 90% of the time, it does an absolute fantastic job. And it's I think that's its strength. It's not just the angel association and the things that you learn, but the deeper meanings that it provides or that you could derive from. It's what I love overall about it. So this is overall what all of the cards will look like. You get an idea of all the various suits and everything like that. Now let's take a look at what we get in the book. Again, it's a big fat chunky book, so you're packed with contents after contents. Everything is nicely laid out, easy to find. There's plenty of explanation. You can see here, there's just a lot that's made available for you to go through. You get a very lengthy introduction. You could see here, it's a couple of pages worth of introduction. You get a section on how to work with these cards. It also talks about the special features of this card deck, how it works. So you get plenty of information. Section on getting to know the archangels themselves, their specialities. So there's quite a bit of information on each of these archangels. So you get to really learn quite a bit. You could see here it's a couple pages worth, and it helps you out on starting to work with the cards. You've got the typical spreads, you've got the free card reading spread. Again, it's explained and highlighted nicely, and that goes on to the Celtic cross spread as well, which is nicely displayed and kind of explained. You get this wonderful little quick reference section as well, so if you really wanted to refer to something quickly, know about the elements, the various different angels and everything, there is a quick reference guide there. So this kind of like section of it all is kind of great for beginners. It explains everything, nicely displayed. You could see it here for the minor cards, the major cards, pinpointing key areas of things to pay attention to. So overall, I think this is great for beginners in many aspects. There's a lot to learn. And then when you come to the major arcanas, again, 22 cards, there is no picture illustration. You get at least a page and a half worth. It's pretty much the same like that for all of them. So you get the number on top, you get what the card is, you get that quote that you saw in front of the card, and then the remaining of it is pretty much the general meaning with a small additional meaning section as well. And you could see here pretty much repeating itself, number, wording, the quote in front of the card that you saw, with a slight additional sort of like meaning towards that deck. For every section that you go into on the suits, it pretty much explains the suits. So again, great for beginners. You know what the suits of fire is overall, what water is. And again, a page and a half, well, almost 2 pages worth. It depends on particular cards you pick. But when it comes to the court cards, I find that's where you get a lot more information. I guess a lot more is being covered in terms of the situation, the words of wisdom being given, and how things are associated with other people. So the court cards tend to have a lot more information. You could see here, there's quite a lot. So it's pretty much the same like that for every single court cards. It's highlighted there in black, certain areas. You've got you or the situation that the card is referring to. You have words of awareness. You've got other people, and then you've got the additional meaning. It'll pretty much be like that for every single court cards. And you can tell there is, because there's a lot more meaning that you are getting. There's a lot of story behind these images when it comes to the court cards. So that is it, guys. Gosh, that was a long video. One of the deck that I wasn't sure of, and I've actually love it. There's still certain things I don't like about it, but the majority of it is quite fairly positive. So it's a great deck. Hope you've enjoyed. Look out for the next one.